On May 30th, 2026, the Cherokee County Republican Party of Georgia invited several of the individuals who made the June runoff to speak at you monthly breakfast. Please enjoy this excerpt from that event.
Comment, share, whatever you want to do.
I thought you was going to have an altar call there for a minute. You may get it with me. I need some money. Listen, it's this ain't part of the 7 minutes now. I get a little extra. I speak slow. Y'all, we've been out all week. And this is a holiday week. And we have seen crowds like this everywhere we go. It is amazing to see people engaged. It's amazing to see how important this is, how important this election is, and how important that we get that stinking John Ossoff out of that city. He shouldn't be there. He doesn't deserve to be there. It was stolen. And come November 2026, by God, we're going to send his butt packing to wherever he can. Okay, so now I got to kind of hurry, I guess, because I got a little sidetracked and get fired up. I love it when the crowd, you get me fired up, I get fired up. Listen, for those of you that may not know who I am, I'm Mike Collins. I was born, raised, still live and work in the same little town in Jackson, Georgia, down in Butts County. Is this it? Been there forever. My wife, Leanne, and I, we've been married 37 years. I got a little update. We got 3 kids, and now we've got 7 grandkids. Second generation in the trucking industry. Leanne and I started our own trucking company a little over 30 years ago. And today we run around 100. We run around 100 trucks. There, I got one back there. We run around 100 trucks across the country every day. And as we go through this, because I'm going to have to speed talk, and that's probably go slow talk. But y'all, as we go through this, keep this in the back of your head. Come October, you're going to get the opportunity to see on stage 2 people. Now over here, you're going to have me. Just a blue-collar, successful, small trucking businessman. Somebody who has spent his entire career in one of the toughest, most regulated tax industries that there is in this country. Went to Washington, D.C., and in just 2 short years, delivered to the state of Georgia. Passed 2 pieces of legislation into law, signed by 2 presidents of 2 parties. And that second one, the Lake and Riley Act. The first thing that President Trump signed when he got back to and here's the thing, people talk about that piece of legislation, but do y'all realize that 1 year's time that Lake and Riley Act has been responsible for removing over 20,000 illegal criminals from our streets, making us safer. Now, that's what you're going to have over here. 1-term congressman, delivered for the state of Georgia. Over here, you got a 1-term U.S. senator, John Ossoff. Well, this guy doesn't represent me. As a matter of fact, if I have to convince you not to vote for John Ossoff, I think you came to the wrong meeting. But I'm just going to tell you, this guy is bought and paid for by those crazy folks in California and those nut jobs out of New York. And you see it in the way he's been voting. Anybody that would vote for men to be in girls' sports or to give illegals health care, that doesn't represent us. I mean, this Cherokee even shut down the government to hold up that grant money that our farmers needed so bad after Hurricane Helene. You think they don't get him reelected this time? That joker will be there till the cows come home. And you don't think they won't call the note due too? You think crazy voting's going on now? He will look like California. So that's what I need for you to keep in your back of your head, because that's the mission. The mission is to put a Republican in that seat. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. In order to do that, you've got to put the right Republican up against John Ossoff. Would you agree? Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the candidates, and let's take a look at just Georgia in whole and the makeup of the Republican Party. You know, if you take a look at the people that are supporting me, Lake and Riley's family is supporting and endorsing them. You've got, you've got the National Border Patrol Councils out. They've endorsed them. Turning Point Action, founded by Charlie Kirk. They've endorsed them. CPAC, Club of Growth, Newt Gingrich, over 200 local and state elected officials, many of them here today. And I have to pull out a list because I can't remember everybody all over the state, but everybody from Sheriff Frank Reynolds, Senator Dickerson, Representative Ridley, Representative Byrd, Representative Thomas, Commissioner Cagle, Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Weatherby, they're all endorsing my campaign. No, there's a reason for that. And Miss Amy Kramer, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming. Our national committee. Yes, thank you. There's a reason that they endorse me. It's because I know how to get results. I know how to win. If somebody comes and asks me to do something, I get it done. You may not believe it, but that's just not a typical politician in Washington, D.C. But that's why they're hungry. But if you take a look at those groups that are endorsing us, those groups scored your voting records, right? Every one of them scored. And every one of those, I'm in a high 90s, even 100% with Club for Growth, and that's your economic people up there. So they know how my voting is going in my conservative voting. So think about that for the next 30 seconds. I don't know where my time's at, but how much? Holy cow. All right, listen, here's what I want you to know. There's in the state of Georgia, people know I'm not. They know that. Y'all see me out there. I've been all over the country with President Trump in 2024. I supported the man in 2016 financially all the way through. He knows I've got his back. As a matter of fact, I was talking to him the other day and he looked over at Natalie and said, "Where's his vote record?" I already knew what it was. It was 100%. It's the reason I went up there. I know what those policies did for me and my family and our business. But we also got to have somebody that can do bipartisan legislation. Macon Riley was bipartisan by far. I knew I couldn't get it. I knew we could get it out of the House. I knew we couldn't get it out of the Senate. And so I know how to go door to door and talk to people about good policy and get that passed. Look, I've got to speed up here. If you're looking for a workhorse, a true conservative fighter, somebody's going to fight for you and your values and my values, then I need your help. I need your help. Matter of fact, I'll tell you how I've been so successful in the last 30 seconds. Listen, I learned my lessons, the hard lessons, over here in what's called the real world. On knowing when to compromise, when not to budge, how to make sure I get the best deal so I can keep families fed and employees employed, or maybe just stay in business. Because I don't know about y'all, but Lord knows there's a lot of times out there that I felt like that the whole job of the federal government was to put me out of business. That's the perspective that I take. That's what I take with me every time I vote. That's what you're going to get in the U.S. Senate, because we need it over there. We need some backbone over there. I need your help. Help me get to the U.S. Senate. And I promise y'all, this old trucker will deliver. I'll deliver for you. Thank you.
David is going to ask the question, but I noticed that some of you, or many of you, haven't gone to get your food yet. So what we're going to do is to make sure you look at your table. So you start with that table there. If you haven't eaten yet, you can just go to eat first. And if you guys can clean up that area where people go eat, I would appreciate it. And then go that first, and then when they come back, we go to this one here, and then we go to this one here, then we go to this one here, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, okay? All right, so you take a look when your time is go to eat. I just don't want you guys not to eat and everybody goes at one time. So you start with that table. If anybody hasn't eaten yet, just stand up and go eat. If not nobody, then this table goes, okay? Thanks, and go back.
All right, Mike, thank you. We got a couple of questions from you, come from our constituents here. The first is, on everybody's mind, what is our biggest things to distinguish you from your competition, George?
Well, I've lived here for the past 25 years. He has. I've voted over the past 20 years. He hasn't voted in 20 years. I'm not for amnesty, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you're here illegal, go home. And I'll give you one more. The Save America Act needs to be passed, and I don't care how you pass it. We live in the best country in this world, best country by far. By God, we ought to have the most secure elections to go along with it. So that's a lot of difference. Matter of fact, a lot of times I don't know if I'm debating myself.
Thank you, Mike. Another question for you. If you are elected and go to the Senate as Georgia's representative, what are the key things, the most important issues that you think the Senate has to accomplish during your time there?
A lot of it is, and I wish I had more time when I was speaking. You know, we've sent so much good legislation over to the Senate, and it just hasn't been picked up. And look, y'all ask yourself something. Why is it every time that the Republicans have control of the House, the White House, and the Senate, we don't get anything done? You see that right now. And the problem is always in the Senate. And it's not because we don't have enough Republicans, y'all. We do. We just don't have enough of the right Republicans up there. Until you put some more people over there that have been through the fire, that understand that this federal government is wanting to take you over every aspect of your life and push back on that, like what I was talking about, the perspective that I take, and you take up that legislation that's coming from the House. But I've got a piece of legislation sitting in the Senate right now. It's going to get out, I hope. It should. The president's waiting on it. But we need to continue to push down on regulations. We need to make sure that we can make life more affordable, make sure that these borders stay secure, and make sure that the next generation has the opportunities that I had when I was their age.
All right, thank you, and good luck in your election. Thank you.
I would love to have you vote in this thing. These runoff elections is all about getting the people back out. And you've got to make sure that people know June 8th is starting early, so get out there and vote. And on June 16th. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.